It took me months to actually lose weight because I've almost lost like 90 pounds.
Wow.
And it took up until probably, up until maybe August, September, I was still at 200. And I'm at 169, 170. But
I'm glad I noticed.
I do jujitsu also, but my first 60 pounds was all yoga.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The
thing about the yoga.
I noticed.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I noticed.
The thing about the way I've trained myself and the way I see yoga is I've gotten it down, and I've just had teachers that have showed it to us in the most efficient ways. So what I was able to do was really efficiently build muscle. So once I was able to get efficient muscle that I was able to build quickly, then I really was able to ramp up my activity. My energy shot up. So I wasn't losing the weight in pounds, but I was getting the density in the muscle, so my sizes were going down. So you have that, like, oh, okay, so it's not working on the scale, but it's working in my pants.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Pants are more important than scale.
It is, because I look, because at 171, but I'm like size not like 10ish, and I was 22. Like, that's crazy amounts of size, and even my weight doesn't necessarily reflect that, I'm 5'2", so it's still considered like super overweight.
I know.
But I'm just a lot of muscle too.
Obese.
I want to do the yoga that's going to make me drop like 10 pounds in 20 days.
I like it. Yeah.
Hot.
Hot yoga.
Hot.
Yoga.
I did the hot stuff.
Have you ever done hot yoga?
I've never done yoga.
Oh my God,
I've
yoga.
never really had to work out until I hit my 30s.
Oh yeah.
Well, I will tell you, the yoga in this class is, the yoga in our police class here is more, we kind of have this group that comes in and out that we do a lot of stress management and work tools for, like, what can you take back to the office when we're done? What can you take on your commute here? How can you sit at your desk and feel healthier in just the way you sit?
How can you drop your shoulders?
Yeah, and honestly,
And when they creep up to your ears,
it's all about
they creep up to their ears.
bringing yourself down. But the weight loss stuff, I'm working, because I have my own private practice, like yoga therapy, and it just allows me to give one-on-one stuff and work one-on-one with people. But to me, what I've seen being the most powerful, hands down, is what happens in your mind through yoga. Because what happens in yoga, and why I push it for everything, like everything, I use it. If I have a cold, I'm like, I'm doing more yoga. I don't know if that might work, but it's the rewiring that yoga does in your brain, because I'm really into the science. So the science that's coming out is supporting this 5,000 years of practice. Like, yoga's been around for over 5,000 years. And through that, there's just millions of written testimony of people changing their minds, changing their bodies, changing their lives. But until science was able to actually prove it, Westerners, like, we didn't care. And I get that. I'm a science person. So what I try to do specifically in this class, the Wednesday class, we do more movement. This class is specifically mind building, like exercising, that constant state of, how do I get back to feeling good? What do I do to get back to feeling good? And that's what I want to talk about today, because we've been working on this interconnectivity, the loving kindness, understanding this prefrontal cortex in our mind is where we're wired for happiness. And I'm reading this book called Buddha's Brain. It's an awesome book. It's very accessible. It's super, like, you don't have to know anything about psychology or neuroscience or any, like, the big words. It's really, you can pick it up. It's easy to read, and that's why I'm reading it. But there's a really powerful meditation in there, and we've been doing the loving kindness meditation for a couple weeks here. But this is working on our limbic reward system. So the goal of what I'm trying to do today is to get our minds back into this place of feeling good for no reason. And that's the power of yoga, because once we get our minds into that place where we're feeling good for no reason, that's when radical change happens. That's when weight starts to fall off. That's when you look at your normal diet and go, sorry, you're just like, it's all good. But I'm like, you look at your normal diet and you go, I feel really good. I don't want to eat this. Like, I was a full-blown alcoholic for years. Yoga, I drink occasionally, but I went blackout drunk every night. As soon as my ex came home, I was done. And that's just how I survived. I started yoga, I was still drinking. I was still on my depression and anxiety meds for 20 years. And the subtle aspect of this, the power of the mind training, is where the body just falls in line. And it's like, I don't ever want to feel bad again. I don't need to hide. I don't need to run. I don't need anything between me and me. It's like just meeting yourself. I mean, like, oh, there you are. You've been there the whole time. Like, sorry I hid you back there. Whatever there was. So that's how I'm trying to introduce yoga to people now in a relational sort of way. Because everything I want us to think about is interconnectivity. It is how do we get our brain to be happier? How do we do that? And I got the tools. We got the tools here, and that's what this class is all about on Thursdays, to get those tools, to settle in, to meet ourselves, just to be okay. And so this powerful meditation, it riffs on the loving kindness that we've been working on. We're gonna stretch out and then we'll do it, but I wanna introduce it now so you have time to think as we're moving. The loving kindness is find one person that you absolutely love and adore, and then find another person that you feel neutral about. They might just be a general acquaintance, coworker, something like that. The third person is somebody that brings up negative feelings. Not to the point where you're crawling out of your skin anxious. This person could be somebody that cut you off in traffic this morning that you're just still pissed about. It's really nice to find that one thing that just keeps popping up, nagging you, making you mad, all the time. What we're gonna do is with ourselves today, which is hard to think. So it's easy to think of stuff we don't like about ourselves. We can think about that all day long. So I want you to think about something that you really genuinely can love about yourself. Bring up those same feelings if you think about a beloved individual, like a mom, a dad, a partner, whoever it is, that inner oh, yeah, I do that. I know what love is from thinking of this, oh, that's it. So now you have to find that with yourself, which is I don't know, it wasn't until I started practicing that I realized how mean I was to myself. And when you start going, but okay, so I love my taste in shoes. I mean, if that's where we have to start, that's where we have to start. So bring that into your mind. And then something that's more neutral, everybody tells me they have a lot of trouble finding a neutral person. So I'm very interested, what is neutral about you? That you might be I'm cool, my face is cool, it's fine, I'm good with that. I don't know, or I'm all right as a friend, I show up to people's birthday parties when I say I'm gonna, that's neutral. I mean, so just start piecing this out while we move. Make it a moving meditation, and then once we kind of get ourselves stretched out, we'll enter into this more meditative state in stillness and see what comes up after we've worked through it. So that's our yoga for today. Lay on your back. Legs up, arms up. I call this dead bug pose. I've heard it called dead bug pose. I didn't make it. But I also learned something at my last workshop, and it's about moving your arms and legs like crazy. This is going to energize us. So starting class, just start legs and arms. Just kick and move. And if you're in a chair, you can just get things moving. And if you think your legs are crazy, they're not crazy enough. In China, when I learned this from my teacher, she learned this from her Zen teacher, and that woman said they would do this for 3 minutes a day, and it's supposed to make you live forever. I don't know about that, but it warms me up. So shake. Keep going. Crazy, 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 really crazy. Feel how crazy your toes and fingers can feel. Take away any work and just shake them. They feel really super weird. Yes. All right, and let it all go.
Oh my gosh.
Inhale and exhale. Just feel the life in your body right here and right now. We woke it up. This is not what you did at the office. You probably haven't done that in a long time. Can you sense your heart, your belly, your chest, your back? Notice your fingertips and toes, what that movement did. Bring your left foot to the mat, knee is bent. Walk your heel as close to your butt cheek as you can get it. And then cross that right leg over your left thigh. If you're in the chair, you're also able to, if you can cross that right leg over. And now you have this triangle. Put your right hand through the triangle, work your left arm around that left leg. Pull in. You can modify this pose. So your leg is crossed. Yes, your right arm goes through the triangle. And then the left arm wraps around. Interlace your fingers. Yep, perfect. And then you can adjust this stretch by pulling in on that leg and using your elbow and your thigh. So with your right elbow and your right thigh, you can push your leg away as you pull in on the left leg. And this is something for lower backs, sciatic nerve pain. This is a great way to stretch out your hips. But it can also be really intense, which is why it's nice you can use your elbows and your hands to adjust the pressure. Adding movement, if you feel good rocking left and right, you can massage both sides of your torso. Sense your shoulders and lower back. Find any places that may feel tense or uncomfortable. And then coming back to center, pulling everything in, and then letting that left foot back on the floor, or which should we start with? The right foot goes down, I'm sorry, and now the left foot crosses over. So your left arm will go through that triangle, right arm reaches around the right leg, interlaces with the left fingers. Hips are really, to me, the ultimate equalizer. Everybody's got really sore hips, and everyone's asymmetrical. So you're going to notice a lot of differences left to right, and that's completely normal. Using that elbow to push into your thigh, pushing it away, and you can pull your leg in towards your belly with your hands. If it feels good to add any extra movement, you can rock to the left and to the right. And if you're able to come back to stillness, flex your feet, naturally lengthen the backs of your legs with these flat feet. Allow your shoulders to soften. Feel your shoulders getting heavier on the mat. Letting both feet come down. Let your hands at your sides, palms face down. Scoop your hips up towards your belly button and press your hips towards the sky so your butt rises for bridge pose. Great for your lower back. And if you're in the seat, you could scoot your hips forward. That might feel good as a way to lean back, to get pushing those hips forward, chest forward. Feel the front of your body. And then before coming down, really engage your butt cheeks, your legs, push your heels deeply into the floor. Slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. Scoop your hips up and gently, one vertebra at a time, lower down till your hips and butt are the last things to touch. Knees now coming closer together. Readjust your body. Maybe you wiggle left and right until you feel that your spine and your neck, the top of your head, everything feels like it's in a straight line. Your body is at ease. And then pull those knees in towards your chest. Bring your arms to your sides. And drop those knees off to the right. Head turns to the left, looking towards your left fingers. Spinal twist. If you're on a chair, you could take left hand to right leg and add a twist. You could even take your right arm behind you. Here in this twist, bring some awareness deeper into your body, finding something very subtle to focus on, noticing where this pose feels the most intense. Allow your mind to go to that place. And from that sensation of intensity, radiate your awareness out, being called gently to different places, noticing the spiral of your body. And now engage those legs, flex your feet, allow your legs to be strong. Scoop your hips under like you're pushing your belly button towards the floor so your abs engage. Supporting your body, using your muscles, bring your knees back to center. Find yourself, wrap your hands around your shins, find yourself in a nice ball. Rocking left and right, releasing any tension. You may be able to roll out shoulders and hips. Settling back to stillness, arrange your body so it feels like it's in a nice straight line. Arms come back out into that T shape. Palms up or down. You can experiment with what feels better. Pull your belly in like you're going to glue it to the floor. Notice what kind of work that takes. Flex your feet so your legs begin to engage. And then allow those knees to gently be carried off to the left, resting on the ground, while your head turns to the right, over those middle fingers, looking over those middle fingers. Again, finding the place of the most intense sensation, probably one of the easier feelings to find. And allow your body to go there, your breath to travel around that sensation. Maybe you imagine on the inhale the breath swirling around it, easing it, swirling around that sensation, inviting it in, digesting it into your body, absorbing it, accepting it. Sharp pain means back off, but in yoga, dull pain is okay. Now flex your feet again, engage your legs, pull that belly button in as if you're gonna push it towards the mat, and then use the muscles of your torso to pull yourself back around, squeezing everything back in. And this time grab the outer sides of your feet for happy baby. Feet are flexed, strong. The more you pull down on the outsides of your feet, your knees on either sides of your torso, the more you may feel on the insides of your legs. You could add some movement. This is a pose of joy. If you're in the chair, you could extend your knees. You could open your legs wider and maybe do a forward fold or reach forward, feeling the insides. You'll stretch your lower back. Yes. And happy baby is, if you can get through a happy baby pose in your first yoga class, you're good to go. It is a ridiculous looking pose. And we're all doing it, so you made it, yes. Releasing everything back down. Pull your knees in and begin a rock. Forward and back. Forward and back. Till you're up onto your knees. Maybe you rock all the way forward. Hands and knees. If you're on a chair, just hang on and find that right seat. Find your sits bones. Get your feet underneath your knees.
I didn't realize how much coughing did back here.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get
That's what I felt.
the coughing.
From coughing.
We're gonna go into a nice shoulder twist. So right arm rises. I like to open up first this way by sinking into my left heel, allowing my chest to open, looking up towards my thumb. I use my wrist, I'll flip my palm front and back just to engage my shoulder. Notice the rotation that happens. Just get to know that there's external and internal rotation that makes a big difference in our posture. Feel, you can now rise up, push your right hip forward as you open. Stretch that big, long outside. And then flipping that palm to the sky, thread it underneath your left arm. Roll your way out to the outermost point of your right shoulder. Use your left hand firmly on the ground. If you're in a chair, wrap your right arm around yourself and use your left arm, pull the elbow to wrap around. Sitting up in your chair. Here you go. There you go. Really feel this extension from your shoulder. If you have tingling in your bottom arm, work on rolling further to the outer edge of that shoulder. If you feel like that right arm is asleep, you can also use your left hand to press deeper into the mat, take some weight off your head and shoulder. If your back feels comfortable, if your shoulder feels comfortable, you can raise this left arm. Flip your left palm very deliberately, really roll it so you feel your whole shoulder roll. Switching the rotation so your left palm is flipped to the sky and you can bring the top of that hand to your lower back and work your fingertips towards your right hip crease. Thinking more about the shape and less about the technique. Your shape, you're using that left hand simply to help guide your shoulder open and around. Thinking if you had a spotlight in the center of your chest, you're driving it towards the ceiling. And now work that left arm up and back around. Hand presses into the mat. Use the strength of your left arm. Push yourself deeply back up. Open. Sink into that left hip. Feel the opening. Did you make any difference? Did anything stretch? I just like to hold myself accountable sometimes. Know I'm doing it. Right hand comes back down to the mat. Reset. Adjust your knees so you feel like they're underneath your hips. Adjust your hands so you feel like they're directly underneath your shoulders. And that doesn't necessarily mean they will look like that. You want to feel at ease in your body, the least amount of work possible. So when it is time to move, we're using only the muscles necessary to get there. So left arm rises. In the chair, that left arm will go across your chest. Or you can continue this also, if that feels good. And then, yeah. So while you're here, just play with that flip of your palm. Notice how your shoulder rolls in and out, that internal and external rotation. We've got a lot of mobility in this joint that we can work with. Or maybe it feels like you don't, and that's okay. We can work with that too. Sinking into that right heel, open up, bigger in your chest. And then flip your left palm to the sky, thread it underneath your right arm. Roll your way to the outer edge of that left shoulder. And your right hand can push as deeply into the mat as feels appropriate for you. Your head may be resting more on the crown or closer to the top. And then if you'd like to add that right arm, you can raise that right arm straight up, accentuate that flip so you're rolling your right palm towards the sky, and then bring the top of that right hand to your lower back, walking it towards your left hip. While you're twisted and exploring this pose for your body, know that whatever you're feeling, if it's totally opposite of what I'm telling you, is right for your body. That's okay. We're all here in different places, in different moods, in different mindsets. Now, using your right arm as much as possible, rise up. Left arm rises. Feel your body once more opening. Yes. And then left arm comes back down. Both hands underneath your shoulders. Two options for child's pose. If you want a lot of space underneath you to breathe, sometimes that feels good. Big toes touch, knees separate, opposite edges of the mat, and you have a lot of room to fold forward. Other option, your knees come together underneath you and you roll over your torso, your thighs. You can experiment with both. Some days I like my knees wide, and then some days it feels nice to just surrender in this little child pose ball. Walking your fingertips forward, you can extend through the sides of your body. Taking your mind to your hips, allow your hips to continue sinking towards your heels. They never have to get there. They never have to get close. It's simply an awareness of your hips getting heavier, of your hips lengthening the sides of your body, pulling farther away from your shoulders. And now taking your awareness to your shoulders, what are you able to continue softening? Can you inhale and then allow your shoulders to drop on your exhale, rolling along the edges of your body towards the floor? Walk your fingertips over to the right so you feel your left side extend. Watch your shoulders. You may feel like you need to bend your arms. Go for it. I have to allow my forearms to be braced on the mat or the ground to be comfortable. Your head can be heavy and looking underneath that left arm. Sensing your breath, feeling your body pressing against itself as you inhale. Walk your fingertips back to center and then off to the left. Adjusting your shoulders and arms once again. Easing any tension that you may have that you've noticed, you can now let go. Walking those fingertips back to center. And this time you can bring your hands to your sides, palms face up, forehead to the mat. If you're in a chair and it feels good, you could bring your knees together and fold over with your arms hanging heavy at your sides. You can, for anyone, whether you're in a chair or on the floor, you can take your hands around your back and interlace your fingers. Using your fingers interlaced, you can pull towards the back of the room, or you can also allow them to just be heavy, feeling the weight of your shoulders hanging, supported by those fingers. From here, we're gonna go into downward facing dog, but we really don't have to move our bodies that much. Bring your hands back into that long stretch position, walking your fingertips forward. You can curl your toes under, so you'll have to kind of push forward just a little, curl your toes under, and just lift your butt. And we're in downward facing dog. Again, if this is your very first downward facing dog, you're looking to put weight onto your middle fingers and thumb. Push deeply into the heel of your hands and experiment with rolling your elbow creases forward towards the front of the mat. When you do that, you'll notice some changes in the back, in your shoulder blades. They may feel like they tuck in. They may feel like they roll or feel protected. You're never stuck in any poses. If you need to come down, drop your knees, go back into child. Find a movement that works for you. Pushing your tail deeply towards the sky, bend your knees. If you feel too much in the back of your legs, you can pedal your heels to add a little bit extra stretch. Head hangs heavy, shaking it yes and no. And then you don't even have to move. Roll up onto your toes, drop your knees. Sink your hips to your heels. Child's pose. Rolling back forward. Downward facing dog. Taking your right foot now forward. You may take one big step, or you might grab the back of your calf and wiggle it up with your hand on the inside of that right foot, almost in a runner's lunge. If you're looking for that subtle strength training, you want to push the left heel back so you feel your left leg that's above the ground strengthening, lengthening, strong. You can drop that left knee if you're looking for something more restorative, or you're not feeling that work today. I totally respect that. My knee is down, just for reference. Yeah, this feels so, so nice. Or for some of us, it might feel awful on the inside, our groin, the inside of our leg. Taking your left hand to the center of the mat, still looking for it to be underneath your left shoulder. Right arm now rises into a twist. Watch your left hip. Immediately, most of us sink into the left hip to twist our whole body. And all we're doing is we're twisting our hips at that point, and we're using less of our spine. So pull up on that hip. Yes. Looking up. Right hand comes back down.
Yoga's nothing.
I know, I love, it is always nice when somebody shows up to that first class and they give me a look like, this was supposed to be stretching, and this is not fun. You were giving me too many words and not enough Zen, and I have to say I'm enjoying it. So right arm behind your right leg now, crocodile. That right hand goes to the outside of your right foot. I adjust this in a lot of different ways. For myself, I kind of use my bicep and my thigh as a hook. So taking your right arm, yep, you got it, inside. So put your palm right here on the inside of your right foot. Yes, now just bring it behind your heel. So your shoulder is behind, I mean, it could be behind your knee. Technically, it could be behind your knee. But that's where you are, yep. I like that too. That totally works.
I haven't done this one before.
Oh, yeah, girl, no. In the other option for hard knees, depending on what works, you can roll the mat underneath you to add like an extra pillow, or the one next to you, you can use that. So yeah, absolutely take care of those knees, because this is not always friendly. All right, right hand comes back around. We are back up on this knee. We're gonna do our half split. So right heel to the mat, toes face up. Just the balance here can take a minute. So the left foot, the top of your left foot is on the mat. Right heel. Yeah. Belly pulls in. Allow that left hip to make a little bit of an adjustment forward. So the right hip pulls back. Arms up. Yeah, you got it. Flexing your right foot. We're just naturally making that stretch in the back of our leg. And that might just be all you want right now. Next step, from your hips, your hands can't pull you anywhere. You're gonna hinge forward. And you in your chair are adjusting perfectly. You look great. Watching the back of your leg, that hamstring can be tight and hurt in these folds. Doesn't matter how far down you are. What I'm looking for is a nice gentle curve in your lower back. You wanna be feeling this coming from your hips. You're unhinging from the bottom to the top. Rolling back up. You may feel like you're unhinging completely forever. Always a possibility. Arms up, looking up. Bring them to your sides. We'll just do a quick switch. So bring your right leg back. Left leg makes that big step forward now. Left hand on the inside of your left foot. Into our runner's lunge. So roll up onto your right toe if that feels good. That little subtle strength training. Push your heel towards the back of the mat. Feel that right leg really start to work. If it feels good like this, you can add your fold. I'm gonna walk over just so you can see a little more. But you can find a fold in here. You can do that with your knee on the mat as well.
Okay, I got a problem. I'm getting tingling in this foot.
pinching something.
No, I did something 4 weeks ago, and just,
Yeah, that's... And always know that drop knee is a good option, or roll something under your knees to support them. Right hand, bring it to the center of your chest. Shoulder, elbow, wrist. We're looking at continuing a straight line. So my hand isn't all the way over here, I'm not over here, I'm trying to stack. So my muscles have to do the least amount. And then my left arm rises. Watching that right hip that I haven't just opened up. That would be a little bit different. And then left hand can come back down. Bring the left hand, so we're gonna do this crocodile thing again. So starting with your left hand on the inside of your left foot. Yep, you're gonna take it under your leg so you can bring it around your heel to the outside. Yes, yep. And I use sort of my elbow and calf like a hook. But you'll have to figure out, I feel it right in my thigh, and my groin, a little in my shoulder. If this is your first time, just hold on. Just do your thing. Feel what you feel, and then next time you'll be like, oh, I remember that. It comes back. You can add more of a fold. Coming back up. Onto that right knee, left heel to the floor. Toes pointed to the sky. Find your balance. See what you have to do. Maybe you push deeply into the floor with that right foot, and that helps strengthen your right side, give you more stability. Arms up. Use your belly. You can feel like you're doing a little bit of a crunch or a sit-up here to pull that belly in, line up your ribs and your hips. And then fold forward using your hips. Think about folding over a beach ball. So you're up and over. Yeah, respect what's going on. And it's just not your day for that pose.
I'm having a hard enough time breathing.
And here in these can be intense. I know this is tough on the back of my legs. It helps to breathe in that discomfort. The more we fight it, the more muscles get tense. If you can just be like, I know you're here. I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. Just for another breath or two. And then inhale, allow yourself to come up. And as you come up, you can just bring both knees behind you. For a little front body stretch, we'll go onto our bellies. For locust, Shalabhasana. So arms will be at your sides, palms face down. Tops of your feet on the mat. Toes, heels, ankles, knees, thighs, anything you can glue together, glue them together. And then head rises, shoulders rise, arms rise, legs rise, working on the weight in your hips. So rise up through your fingertips, rise up through your toes. If you're rocking while you breathe, that's okay. Inhale and exhale. 3, higher. 2, higher. 1, exhale and let it all go. Put one cheek to the mat. And while you're here, just as we did in the beginning, after we shook our arms and legs and brought awareness and life and sensation flooding in, we've just done the same things on our belly. We've moved our body, we've softened our body, we've tensed our body. Now release your body. I planted those little tiny seeds in the beginning of remembering something about yourself that you love, something that you feel neutral. And then the easiest one for most of us is something that brings us anxiety about ourselves, something that we don't like. And from here, I invite you to find a comfortable spot. If you have a meditation practice that's seated and you'd like to sit, you can do that either on a chair or on your mat. If you'd like to lie on your back, I think that that's a really great way to end every practice. Also, if you have lower back problems and that doesn't feel right, lay on your side, find a fetal position, lay on your belly, get comfortable. Would you like a chair underneath your feet? Would that be helpful? Here in these final moments, very final moments, bring yourself into that place where you can identify with something about yourself you deeply love. Not feeling guilty if it's something you don't feel worthy of. If it's your nails, love your nails. If it's your shirt, love your shirt. If it's your heart, love your heart. Whatever it is about yourself that you want to honor right now, do it with all of your intention. Be curious and aware and awake about this love. How deeply can you feel it? Can you feel it inside your body? Not just in your mind, but deeper. Can you see and smell, taste and touch this thing or feeling, emotion that makes you feel such deep love? It may make you feel like you want to smile, and that's always okay. Allow your body to sense this self-love from the crown of your head, washing over your face, unhinging your jaw, around your ears. Inside your ears, you feel this ease along your throat, your shoulders to the fingertips, your armpits, the sides of your body, your belly, your chest, in between your shoulder blades, pressing into the mat, the arch of your lower back, your hips. Feel it in the backs of your knees, your kneecaps, ankles, tops of your feet, soles of your feet, heels and toes. And if you find your mind wandering, if it's having trouble connecting, know that that's okay too. Gently bring yourself back. An untrained mind is a wild mind, and we love that too. Just gently invite it back home. I love you, come home. Allow this feeling of deep love to stay, to settle in, but invite now something about yourself that you feel neutral about. And it may, if you're having trouble settling on something, something might just pop up. It might volunteer. Whatever pops into your head, honor that, recognize it, welcome it in. But maybe you can extend an extra loving kindness towards this neutral feeling, this neutral part of yourself. Can you look at this as a witness, stepping back in your mind, just seeing whatever this neutral thing may be, feeling all of what it has to offer, feeling it in your head and neck and shoulders, chest and back, hips, legs, toes. Maybe adding a little bit of kindness, greater love, wishing this neutral part of you well. May you feel peace. May you feel free. May you feel love. Coming back, ready to identify a slightly less positive part of yourself. Something that you feel doesn't serve you, that you don't like, something that might nag you. Maybe it's a body image, maybe it's an image of you as a person in your heart or your mind. It may be one individual incident that brings you stress. You feel negatively towards yourself or how you acted. We jump into that very easily. Allow yourself to feel, knowing that if things get too intense in your mind and your body, you can gently reawaken, open your eyes or wiggle your toes and fingers, entering back into that state of full love, finding that place inside you can always connect to. And with this negative feeling, as you're feeling it, inviting it in, exploring it as a witness, maybe you're able to cultivate some softness around this part of yourself. Can you allow that love that you felt to creep in even now, making space for the feeling of negativity, but allowing your heart and mind also to wish yourself well? Genuinely tell myself, may I feel love just as I am. May I feel peace just as I am. May I be free just as I am. Seeing that negative emotion, maybe soften with these well wishes and entering once again your whole body, reawakening to that feeling of deep love. Come back to those parts of joy. Notice softness entering places that may have been tense. Feeling breath enter your nose, down the back of your throat, through your trachea into your lungs, expanding your rib cage up and out, deeply into the floor and into the sides of your body. Each inhale, feeling the love deeper. And if you've wandered, just remind yourself, come home. Exhaling, inhaling, bringing gentle movements back into your body, knowing that this feeling you've cultivated is yours to keep. It's about you, it's for you, it's all you, head to toe, shoulders to hips, knees to elbows. As you bring movement back into your body, roll yourself over onto one side, into the fetal position. Taking these last moments to simply get in touch with anything else you may have rolling around in your mind. Our minds are open, our bodies are awake, at ease. If there's an intention, a New Year's resolution, or something else that you've been working on personally, now's your time to re-engage, recommit. Breathe it in. And when you're ready, slowly rise up to seated, Sukhasana or easy pose. That easy pose could be legs crossed in front. It could be seated on your knees, hands pressed together at heart center. It is my honor and my privilege every week to be here with each and every one of you. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.
Namaste. Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. I know we